I'm so worried right now. What is happening? Boo. The little legs. Pika pika. The most confusing thing I've ever done. I went to bed at 6 a.m. Nothing could have prepared me for this at all. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this vlog, we will continue market prepping for my biggest market of the entire year. It is a 3-day art festival in September. My goal is to have $6,000 in plushie inventory because last year I took $4,000 in inventory with me and I sold out on the second day. So this year I am trying my best to take more plushies with me so I at least make it to the third day without selling out completely. Right now we have about $1,942 in plushie inventory and a total of 212 plushies. I've made all of my critters for my gumbo machine, and I've also made anchor and the 3 mini anchors. If you want to see the process of me making all of that, you can go and watch my 2 previous videos. For today, we're moving on to my Pokemon items and my turtles, my larger turtles. This is everything I want to make in this 2-week period. I always overestimate how much I can get done in 2 weeks, but I'm hoping to get at least 90% of this done. I already have Bulbasaur and Psyduck made. They were leftovers from my last market. This is Bulbasaur, absolutely adorable. Love him, cute with his bulb. And this is Psyduck. I've made the 4 starters a couple of times. So Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Pikachu, and they sell every single time, especially Charmander, Squirtle, and Pikachu. So I like to make those as my high ticket items for regular markets, but obviously since this is an art festival, I'm gonna make even higher price items. So we're just gonna get right into crocheting, starting off with the first item on the list, which is Charmander. For Charmander, I use this color for his main body. This is loops and threads in cinnamon stick. Don't worry, I have another skein. And then for his belly and tail detail, I use Premier Basic Chanel in banana, and I use red, which is the burnout blanket in crimson, for the fire detail on his tail as well. And for my hook, I use a 6.5 hook, so it comes out a little bit big. Let's get started because I don't have any more time to waste. Okay, the deadline is fast approaching and I'm starting to panic a little bit because I haven't even gotten halfway to my goal. So enough yapping, let's start crocheting. I'm done with the head, stuffed it. I'm gonna continue with the body. I'm done with the body of Charmander, and I've also made the little legs, the arms, the belly, the tail, and the little fire detail for the tail. All that's left is to sew everything together and this guy will be done. Look at him. Charmander is down. Absolutely cute, absolutely gorgeous. Something that I do when I'm done crocheting, when I'm done sewing all the parts together, the limbs, the tail of whatever plushie that I make, is I go in with the tweezer and I go through the parts that I sewed and I pick out the polyfill that sticks out. You know when you're sewing the limbs together and sometimes some polyfill comes out of the plushie? I go in with a tweezer and take all of that out. It takes a little bit of time, but it is very satisfying. I love doing it, and it just makes the plushie look better, seeing as there are no frayed ends anywhere. It is currently 10:20 p.m. I haven't eaten dinner, so I'm gonna go do that, and then I'm gonna come back and start making Pikachu. I think I'm gonna go to bed at 2 a.m. today. By the time I go to bed, I'm gonna be done with at least Pikachu's body, because tomorrow we want to do something else. Another thing, I think I might have overstuffed him. I usually fully stuff my plushies because I imagine they're going to be displayed somewhere, either on a bed or on a shelf or something. And if you want your plushie to sit properly, you need to stuff it properly. I might have gone overboard with this guy, but he's cute though. For Pikachu, I use Premier Basics Chanel Brights in lemon and Premier Basics in black. This banana color from Premier Basics I don't know what's wrong with this. Out of all the colors I've used, and I've used a lot from this basics line, the regular yarn itself, it's soft, it's fluffy, but for whatever reason, this one is stiff, and it is just this color that has that issue. And I don't like how it works up. Good thing I barely use this color. I only use this color for the accent of plushies, mostly Charmander to be honest, but this color is just very stiff. It's 9:15 p.m. Tuesday, July 28th, and this is what I have for Pikachu right now. So just use your imagination. He's gonna have his ears, arms, feet, and then his iconic tail in the back. But I'm actually not going to complete this today because I want to make something else. I want to make Mimikyu. This pattern is by the Chronic creator. I saw it on Instagram and immediately got the pattern. It's a free pattern on her website. That's what I want to make today because I've made Pikachu a couple of times and I feel like making something new. These are the colors I'm using. For the main body, I'm going to use Premier Basic Chenille Bright in Banana. For the underside, I'm going to use Premier Basic Chenille Bright in Black. For the tail, I'm going to use this random yarn I found on Amazon. This is the brand of the yarn. That's the brand. It doesn't have a color. It is just a random brand that I found. That's what I'm going to use to make the tail. For the cheek detail, I'm going to use this. This is Loops and Threads Demi Pearl in color Cork. This might be a little bit light for the cheek, but this is all I have close to the color. So that's what I'm gonna use. I've never made this pattern before, so I'm curious to see how he comes out and how big it is. I'm also using my 6.5 hook as usual, and we're gonna start with the bottom part, which is the black part. We have the bottom done, and this is the bottom compared to Pikachu's regular body. I'm about to start making the body part, so we're changing to the yellow color now. I'm done with the body. Comparing this to the size of Charmander, they're like the same size. Charmander's a little bit higher, maybe like 2 inches higher right now. This is the underside. I love this petal design on the underside and then the layering with the yellow one. I love that. Also, the pattern called for weighted palettes and I don't have that, so I just use stuffing. We're gonna work on the head next. Guys, this is what the head is looking like so far. Why is it so large? What is happening right now? Why is it so huge? Why is it the same size as the body? I'm not even done. I have 4 rounds left to finish the head. I'm gonna stuff it. That stuffing wasn't enough. I need more stuffing for this head. I've used 100 grams of yarn for the head. What is going on right now? This thing is huge. It still needs more stuffing. I'm just wondering how this body is supposed to hold this up. So far, everything is right. All the stitches are correct. I didn't miss anything, but I'm getting concerned. Look at this. What is happening right now? What the heck is happening? I'm so worried right now. The head is humongous. I was looking at some pictures of Mimikyu and his head is bigger than his body. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is too big. No? I mean, look at Charmander. I was thinking maybe it will be a few inches tall. This body alone is the size of Charmander. I've basically made 2 Charmanders. What is this? I haven't even... The ears? Oh my god. The ears are gonna make it like this tall. I wanted this to be the size of this. small and cute. This is Charmander and Pikachu. Well, Pikachu isn't complete. I still need to do his ears and stuff, but like, look at that. Do I keep going? I'm gonna keep going because there's no way I'm remaking this. I'm just gonna keep in mind that for next time, I'm gonna have to use a 5mm hook so that it's gonna come out the size of Charmander. I want it to be this size. I am honestly shocked at what is happening right now. What am I supposed to do here? It is 1 a.m. and I'm gonna keep going. The ears are next. Mimikyu is done. And yes, this is in fact creepy. This is probably the biggest plushie I've ever made. This was definitely an accidental surprise because this plushie wasn't supposed to be this big. This is Charmander. Hang on. Do you see the size difference here? Charmander, Mimikyu. This is supposed to be this size. See, this is what happens when you use a 6.5 hook and blanket yarn. Next time when I'm making this plushie, I'm gonna use a 5mm hook instead of a 6.5. It will probably still be bigger than my regular size Pokemon, but at least it won't be this big. The face details, now that is real creepy. Boo! Today is Thursday and it is currently 2:15 p.m. so we're starting early today. First, I want to make a birthday present for my friend. One time she mentioned that she likes traffic cones, so I want to make one of those for her. Then I need to finish Pikachu. Just need to do his ears, arms, feet, and his tail. And then I want to start working on Eevee. I don't know if I'll be able to finish Eevee today, but I at least want to start that. And I also want to do Umbreon, but I don't think I'm going to get to Umbreon today. It's the next day, it's Friday, and I completed everything I said I was going to do yesterday. Starting off with Pika. Pikachu is done. Beautiful. Then the traffic cone. Look at him, it's so cute. Also, the bottom comes off, so it's a ball. This was so easy to work up. I had to buy the pattern from Etsy. I'm gonna link it in the description if anyone is interested. I said I was gonna make Eevee, but I couldn't because I don't have the eyes to do that. Eevee and Umbreon need 30mm brown eyes for Eevee and then red eyes for Umbreon, and I don't have that. Instead of making something and not completing it, I decided to make something else. Enter in this dude over here. Oh my goodness, so adorable. This is Ditto. He just looks like a derp. I love him. He's so derpy. He looks like a cloud. He's a cloud derp. I was having a hard time pricing this guy because he did take about the same amount of time it takes to make my regular Pokemon dudes, but this one has no detail. He's just a blob with a derpy face. Comparing him to Pikachu and Charmander, he's bigger. He's a lot chunkier. So I was thinking maybe I might leave him at the same price as I priced those guys just for consistency. The yarn I used for him was Bernat in Aubergine. I actually wanted to use the same color I used to make Gengar. This is a Gengar in progress. This has been a whip for months. I found the yarn at Michael's, but it did not have a label. I know it's Bernat because it was in the Bernat section and it feels like Bernat. However, there is no label. And I found this yarn twice at Michael, and both times, no label. I thought it was aubergine, but clearly it's not. This is a lot brighter. It's a lot more saturated than this. And it's not shadow purple. Shadow purple, at least the one I saw at Michael's, it looks like this, maybe slightly darker. So if anyone knows what color this is, please let me know. When I was making this guy, I wasn't really feeling the color because of how desaturated it is. As you can see, Gengar's body here, it's a lot more vibrant. But now after I finished making him, I think I like it like this because looking at the pictures of Ditto, he does look pale. Gengar is a lot more vibrant than Ditto, so I think it's fine. It's currently 6:20 p.m. I need to edit the Instagram reel that I was supposed to post today, but I forgot. Hopefully that doesn't take too long. And then tonight I might either work on Squirtle or I might play Minecraft. Depends on my mood. We might be playing Minecraft or we're crocheting Squirtle. If I do crocheting tonight, I use this Premier Basic Chanel in light blue. Don't worry, I have another skein for his head and arms and feet and tail. For his main body, his midsection, I use basics in steel cut oats, and for his shell I use this random brown yarn I found on Amazon, and his shell has a white detail and I just use burnout white for that. So far we have 4 Pokemon and I wanted to do 7. We have Pikachu, Charmander, Ditto, Mimikyu, and I still need to do Squirtle, Eevee, and Snorlax. I'm so excited for Snorlax. I might make him tomorrow, but I don't have the yarn to make Snorlax, so we're probably gonna go to Michael's to grab that. Eevee might have to come at a later time because I'm not gonna get the eyes until next week. For the rest of today, I'm going to edit my reel and then start working on Squirtle. It is Sunday night. Well, technically it's Monday at 3:29 a.m. I am wide awake. Let me just explain what happened this weekend. On Friday, I got Squirtle's body done. On Saturday, I got his shell done. And then I just did his tail like 2 minutes ago. On Friday, I said I wanted to play Minecraft. I didn't play Minecraft on Friday. I just ended up crocheting Squirtle instead. On Saturday though, I played Minecraft. And then on Saturday night, my sister and I, we had a movie night. So we saw Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender, so the new Avatar. And honestly, that movie was overhyped. It was good, but it wasn't there for me. You know, I feel like it could have been a series. The next movie we saw was Project Hail Mary. That movie has been on my list for so long, and oh my god, it was so good. 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. Recommend that movie. While I was watching that movie though, I needed something to crochet, just so I did something with my hands. And I made some turtle shells, my baby turtles. Look at this color. Look at how pretty that is. I'm gonna put a picture here of what they look like. They're currently available on my website, and I made 10 of this purple color. I'm not gonna complete this, guys, until later on, probably like the end of August or maybe even September, but I just needed something quick and easy to do while I was watching the movie. Then on Sunday, today, Sundays are usually my do nothing days, and that's exactly what I did. I did nothing. I was on my bed the entire day reading a book. I'm not gonna discuss what that book was. And then maybe around 8 p.m., maybe 9 p.m., I fell asleep and then woke up at 11:30 p.m., got up, brushed my teeth, getting ready for bed, thinking I was just gonna hop right back into bed and fall asleep. 2:30 a.m. rolls around and I am still wide awake. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna hop out of bed and crochet. So I made Squirtle's tail and I'm about to sew up his parts. It is now 5:56 a.m. So it's 6 a.m. in the morning on Monday. And I just got done with Squirtle. Look at him, it's so cute. His shell, his iconic tail, and adorable face. So I didn't do the shell details or the lines. I usually don't do it. I tried doing it just a minute ago here, but I didn't like how it was looking. I feel like the black is just overwhelming for such a small surface area. Maybe I need to get a thinner yarn. I was using weight 4 chenille to make the lines and I didn't like it. It was just too overwhelming. I usually don't do the lines anyway, so I just took it out. This is Squirtle. So now we have 5 Pokemon done. I still want to do 3 more. I need to do Eevee, Togepi, and Snorlax. So I don't see the sun outside, so technically in my head it's still Sunday. I'm gonna start making Eevee next because the eyes I wanted to use for Eevee came in earlier today. This is what they're looking like. Adorable, cute, love it. The yarn I'm using for her main body is the Premier Basics in Caramel, and for her neck detail and her tail detail I'm using Bernard in Almond. The pattern I'm using is by Maurice Stuffies, and it looks like the pattern is very straightforward. So I'm gonna start working on Eevee right now. It's 1 p.m. on Monday. It is officially Monday and I still haven't slept. I'm tired right now. I'm starting to get that headache you get from lack of sleep, so I need to go to bed. My sleep schedule is completely done. I need to figure out how to fix that, but that's gonna be later. This is what I have for Eevee so far. She's looking fabulous. I just have the tail and the neck detail left to do and Eevee will be done. I was hoping I could get it done before 12 p.m. but that didn't happen. Surprisingly, this took a long time. Joining these 4 feet together is the most confusing thing I've ever done as far as crocheting goes. It was so confusing. At some point I was crocheting inside out. I didn't even know that was possible, but that was what was going on. So I had to frog a portion of the body and restart the body. I got it right the second time. That's all that matters. I'm gonna go to bed. I'll see you guys when I wake up. Good night. It is now Tuesday. Yesterday I woke up at 4 p.m. which was good because it meant I could still go to bed at night even though I went to bed at 3 a.m. But anyways, I worked on some things and then I crocheted for the rest of the night and I finished up Eevee. She's so adorable. Look at the tail and the little neck piece, her eyes, the eye detail. Wow. She's all done. This is Pokemon number 6. Change of plans. Today is Monday, August 10th, and I have a 2-day market this week on Thursday and Friday that I completely forgot about. I forgot to put it on my calendar, and so in my head, it did not exist. I just remembered a few minutes ago and I'm like, oh my god, I have nothing to take to that market. I know I've been making all of my Pokemon and my anchors and my critters, but that's all for the art festival and I don't want to take it to the market I have in 3 days. So I need to quickly make something else. There's no way I can crochet a lot of plushies in 3 days for the 2-day market that is coming up. So I need to rely heavily on my other products to kind of offset that crochet gap for me. My other products are my stickers, my bookmarks, my Kindle accessories, my sticker sheets. Right now, I am so glad that I expanded my business and expanded my products to other stationery items and Kindle accessories. Otherwise, I would have had to cancel. Instead of making turtles, we're going to shift gears here to make some of my smaller items. So I think I want to make jellyfish, axolotl, the small turtles, and opossums. I don't know how many of each I want to make. It honestly depends on how many I can get done, but that's the plan now. Before we can start crocheting, I need to clear everything here from the past month or so of crocheting. I have all of my Pokemon, my anchors, and my critters down there, and I need to clear all of that space to make room for new items that I'm going to be making. These are my market bags. This is what I use to pack all of my plushies for markets. Everything that is in here is what was left over from my last market, so I'm going to take everything out and reorganize my plushies according to price items. That's how I usually organize them, and my Pokemon will probably be in here, and then I'll move the other stuff into another bag. I have 4 of these bags. Everything is cleared up, and then I have a full bag of plushies. I need to organize my yarn again because I made a mess while I was making anchor. This is my yarn storage. I store all of my yarn in my closet. I shoved all of my clothes to the side to make room for my yarn. I've had this cube organizer for 2 years, but I added this for space about 3 weeks ago to store more yarn, and now I have run out of space again. I have a box of yarn down here. This is everything I used to make anchor, so I need to move all of that and then move the eyes into my eye storage down there. These are the grid panels I use for my yarn storage. I got this off of Amazon. I'm gonna link them below in the description. I'm gonna add 2 more here and here to make some room for the extra yarn I need to store. Everything is now organized. I'm quickly running out of space for my yarn, but that's another issue for another day. Right now though, since we're here, let's pick out yarn for the jellyfish so I can start crocheting. Now I want to do pink, blue, green, maybe purple, and maybe yellow. For the pink, I wanted to use this for the head, Premier Basics in cotton candy, and probably this for the tentacles. This is Bernard's Raspberry Kisses. These two together, tentacles and the head. I'm a little bit worried that this variegated color might be too much. It might be too busy for the tentacle, but I'm just gonna try it out and see. For the blue, I'm going to use Premier Basics in light blue and the blue version of the pink, the variegated yarn in celestial blue. For the green, I'm thinking of either using this green. This is Sweet Snuggles Light in baby green, or this green, Premier Basics in kiwi. For the tentacles, I'm going to go with this green, the variegated version in grassy. These two colors don't really go together though, so I'm kind of worried. This one looks better. If those don't work, I might use this green for the head and then this for the tentacle. This is smoky green, but it might be too dark. Actually, this looks okay, so I might go with that. For the purple, we're gonna go with the variegated version of the purple yarn, which is Pretty Girl, and this unknown purple shade that I have no idea what it is. And for the yellow, I don't have a variegated yellow, so I don't know if I'm gonna do yellow. If I do yellow though, I'll probably use this color for the body and maybe this for the tentacle, or I might swap this for the body and this for the tentacle. The jellyfish pattern is by Loops and Knots Crochet. It's a free pattern on her YouTube channel. I'm gonna have it linked below in the description. The pattern is divided into 3 sections: the tentacles, the underside, and then the head. So I'm going to make everything in an assembly line, make all the tentacles, then make all the underside, and then all the heads, and then attach everything together. I'm going to do 2 of each color, and I want to finish everything tonight. It is now 9 p.m. and I'll probably be done by like 2 a.m. I'm going to listen to a book and crochet the night away. It's the next day, Tuesday, August 11th, and I have all the tentacles done. There are 60 tentacles. I made pink, blue, green, purple, and yellow. For the yellow tentacle, I mentioned I didn't have a variegated yarn. So what I did was I used my Big Twist Posh Chic weight 4 yarn in this yellow and this white color. The yellow is lemon meringue and the white is whipped cream. I'd used both strands together and crocheted the tentacle for the yellow, and I really love how it came out. However, it is a bit stiff. I don't think I'm gonna do this again. I think I'm just gonna look for a yellow variegated yarn because it's a bit stiff compared to the regular ones that I did. This is so fun. I also completed all the underside, green, yellow, pink, purple, and blue. I joined the pink tentacle to the underside, and look at this guy. I completed this guy last night. I did all of this last night. I went to bed at 6 a.m. I can't believe I've never made a jellyfish. This is the very first one, and this guy is going to be a staple at markets for me for sure. This is so cute, and this tentacles right here, oh my god, this is so fun to play with. So I have 1 and I want to make 10. So that's what I'm going to do for tonight. I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to complete all 10 of them. It's currently 7:20 p.m. We'll see what we're going to make after that. For the market that is supposed to be happening on Thursday and Friday, I'm not really sure what's going on. I haven't gotten any email from them. The only information I've gotten from them so far is when the organizers DM'd me asking if I wanted to be a part of the market. This was back in June actually when they DM'd me. After that, I did not hear anything from them about the market. Usually they send an email with vendor confirmation and loading times and things like that. I didn't hear anything. So I sent an email last night and the organizer responded that she's still waiting for the university because the market is going to be at a university. She's waiting for the university to get back to her on the vendor details, the space, the booth assignment, the vendor locations and loading times and all of that. So it's Tuesday. The market is supposed to be on Thursday. I've never experienced this before where the market is in 2 days and I haven't heard anything about vendor information. Everything is just kind of up in the air. I'm just going to keep crocheting as if the market is going to happen on Thursday and Friday. If it doesn't, at least I have jellyfish to take to my art festival. So it's a win-win for me. I'm just going to keep crocheting. Jellyfish is done. We have 5 colors, 2 of each color. These guys are so adorable. I love them so much. Absolutely cute. It is 2:37 a.m. I'm not really in the mood to crochet anymore, so I I think I'm gonna call it a night. Tomorrow I'm gonna make axolotls. Tomorrow is Wednesday and the market is confirmed. It's happening on Thursday. They sent over all the vendor information. I'm thinking I need to make something that I can easily finish on Wednesday because I will need to sleep early on Wednesday so I can get up early for the market. I like to be there 2 hours before the actual time. The market is from 10 to 4 on Thursday and Friday. So I would like to be there at 8 a.m. I think I'm gonna do the axolotls tomorrow. I'm just enjoying playing with the tentacles of this jellyfish. I love it so much. That's it for tonight. I will see you tomorrow. It's Wednesday and it's 9:15 p.m. This is the only thing I've crocheted today. I've only done one axolotl. This pattern is Crochet by Jenna and it's a free pattern on her YouTube channel. I'm gonna link it below. But that's all I did today because I had to attend to other things today. Like I said, I have some other products that is gonna offset my crochet items. I actually remembered that I have some crochet hats from back when I used to make crochet hats. So this is what they look like. I have this ruffle hat over here. This is so cute. I'm gonna take them to the market with me and see if they sell. I also have this book sleeves that I made with the bead detail. I'm gonna take that as well. Normally I don't take this because I've moved on from acrylic yarn and exclusively only making plushies, but desperate times calls for desperate measures and I don't have a lot of crochet items, so I'm just gonna take everything that was left from when I used to do all of this. I have a black book sleeve and this plain red hat. That's for the acrylic stuff. Then for the plushies, first I'm gonna start with the ones I had left over from my market a month ago. I'm actually pretty excited for this market because the last time I did the market was a month ago and I'm like itching. I'm itching to do a market. I actually love doing markets. So all I had left over from my last market, these are pickles. I had a pickle fest earlier in the year and I have these guys left. We have one yellow dino, one cheeky turtle. It's cheeky because there's a booty in the back, and one octo. Since it's already 9 p.m, I really don't want to crochet anything else. I just want to pack up my car, get ready for bed early. Also, the day before market, I don't want to be too stressed because I know market day will be crazy. So I like to relax the day before a market. So I'm just going to pack my crochet bag and then I'm going to pack my yarn bag because I usually like to take a bag of yarn with me and pack up my car with everything else. This is a weird angle, I know. Bear with me. This is the only angle I can show you guys everything. I'm just gonna put all of my jellyfish in here. I think I'm going to take anchor with me just as a statement piece. This beauty is gonna come with me. And I'm gonna pack up all of my jellyfish, my one and only axolotl, and my acrylic items. I'm going to take this guy with me. This is actually a birthday present for my friend and she's going to be at the market tomorrow, so I'm just gonna give it to her tomorrow. This is the bag. We actually have one full bag. I'm so shocked by this. Now let's pack my market bag. At the market, I want to crochet my baby turtles. I've already made the shell for the purple color. I want to do the pink, blue, and green colors. Obviously, I won't be able to complete that during the market, but when you're at market, it's good to have something to crochet, just to do something with your hands. People love looking at you working, and it's good for people to see that you actually crocheted what you have on your table. I understand markets can be very stressful, but if you can, I would say to crochet while you're at markets. So the green color for my turtles, I'm using this is grassy. I'm basically using the same colors I used for my jellyfish. The blue in celestial, pink raspberry kisses, and the purple in pretty girl. For the head and the body, I use Bernard in almond. This is what we have for the market bag so far. This is my bag of polyfill. I put it in a plastic bag. Safety eyes for the turtle, 12mm eyes. I put them in this case. I put on my hooks in this case. I use the 5mm hook for my turtle, so I'm just gonna put that in here because I used it for my axolotl. Put my needles in there and my scissors. That goes in the bag. Next, I have my case of stitch markers and my little stick I used to weave in ends, and I think that's everything I'm going to take with me. This is what the bag is looking like. Usually this bag is filled up with yarn, but I already know what I want to make, so that's all I'm going to take. This is what she's looking like. That's it for the packing. I still need to charge my square reader, charge my iPad, charge my barcode scanner, but all of that will be done overnight. I'm just going to take these two bags to the car and pack up all the other items. I'm going to run through my checklist at the end of the night to make sure everything's packed and I don't miss anything. I just got back from the market and I've never experienced something like this before. The market was completely dead. I've experienced slow markets before, but not dead. There was nobody at the market, which is strange because it was at a university. You would think students would be there, but they were not. You know what? Just take a look at this. Yeah, nobody. Okay, so for starters, the market was 2 days, Thursday and Friday, 10 to 4. We were told to be there at 8:45 a.m. and someone from the university was supposed to meet us to help set up, and then a representative from the organization, the organizers, someone was supposed to be there as well. I was the first person to arrive, the first vendor, and the organization rep wasn't there. In fact, she was 30 minutes late. When I got there, no staff at the university knew that vendors were supposed to show up. So I got there like, hey, I'm a vendor, I'm here for this event, and they were looking at me confused like, huh? The first person I spoke to had to speak to another person, the other person came, that person had to speak to another person. It was a mess. Another issue other vendors were having were parking. They sent us some slip to print out for the parking spots, but some vendors had issues with even getting into the university campus because they weren't a student or a staff. Even though they kept trying, like my friend, she had to turn around multiple times trying to look for an entrance into the university because they kept telling her to go this way, go this way. It was a mess. This was in the morning. We haven't even entered the building. This was in the morning, trying to set up. The organization representative shows up. She says she's going to look for the university rep that's supposed to help us. And then they just told us to set up at the rec center. They already had tables and such set up for the event, so that was good, I guess. So we go there and the rep had to look through her emails to see if we were assigned specific tables. We were not, so she's like, okay, just set up wherever. So we start doing that. The space is large. We were at the rec center at the basketball area, a large space for 12 vendors. On the first day, 4 people didn't show up, so there were only 8 vendors. We're setting up. 10 a.m. rolls around, no one. 10:30, no one. 11, no one. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna start crocheting. So I started making some turtle shells, and slowly people start trickling in. I'm talking like we were getting 5 people every hour. At 12, that's when we started getting some people, and 5 people showed up maybe at like 12, and then for the rest of the hour it was dead. Then at 1, another 3-5 people show up. The rest of the hour was dead. They even tried to put on some type of bingo event, like you have to go through every single vendor to like do a bingo. No one showed up. Nobody. Honestly, the only thing I can do is laugh because that was the most bizarre situation I've ever been in. You would think the event would be crowded because it's a school. Also, it was moving day for the new semester. So we're so confused. From the email, it was advertised to us vendors as if students were going to come through like in a rush for this event they were putting on. There was no one. I spoke to a couple of students that said they didn't even know this event was happening. Wow. Yeah, so that happened. That was my first dead market experience. The good thing though, I spoke to every single vendor that was there. I learned about some other markets happening in the area and made some new friends, I guess. And then on the second day, 1 vendor left. So we were now down to 7 out of 12 vendors. I am never going to do a market by these organizers again. I was also talking to the other vendors about this organizer. One of the other vendors, she said she did the same event last year, but it was at a library and it was also dead. Another vendor said they did some other market by these organizers and the foot traffic just wasn't the best. So safe to say I'm never doing a market by this organizer ever again. Yeah, my friend and I, we were just yapping and crocheting. She's an artist, so she was drawing. The second day she even brought a book to read. It was an interesting experience for sure. I wanted to do an entire market vlog for this, but obviously I couldn't because there was nothing to film. I did get some sales. I'm just gonna run that through right now. For the 2 days, I made $296.29. I made 18 sales So 18 people bought something from me. I sold 30 items in 2 days. That's it. I wish I could say to do research before you do markets. I mean, obviously do research before you do markets to make sure the organizer is legit and see what other vendors are saying. But nothing could have prepared me for this at all, because this is a university. I couldn't even tell you what went wrong here. The location was at a university. It was moving week. It was at the rec center. No idea. You might argue they're college students and the stigma of college students being broke, but this was moving week. The students had their families with them. I couldn't even tell you why this market was dead. No idea. Also, the organizer, the person who came to help us set up, she left on the first day after like 2 hours, and then she came back on the second day when the market was over to ask us how the market went. I told her it was very dead. I did sell one of my jellyfish, the pink one, so I have to replace that. That's gonna come later. That aside, we did get a lot done in this video. I crocheted a total of 6 Pokemon items, so Charmander, Pikachu, Squirtle, Mimikyu, Eevee, and Ditto, which means I have a total of 8 Pokemon. That's including Psyduck and Bulbasaur. And I also crocheted 10 jellyfish, even though it wasn't planned for. This now brings our total inventory value to $2,667 and 227 plushies done, which means I have 3,333 3333 inventory value left to crochet. I don't know how many plushies that's gonna be. Isn't that lucky? I think that's a lucky number. And with that, thank you guys so much for joining me for yet another market prep vlog. If you enjoyed the video, if you made it to the end of the video, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to grow my channel, so liking and subscribing really helps me a lot. In the next market prep vlog, we're going to make the turtles. I'm most likely just gonna do my larger turtles and my small turtles. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.